Hey everyone, it's Vanessa. I am in the house today. I woke up, it was about 25 below zero, and the wind chill made it feel like 35 below. It doesn't quite feel like that, but it's cold. Anyways, I wanted to come on and just share that you're not always going to find a spot where you fit. For me, my whole career, I was very good at being a nurse. I took very specific steps to ensure that I had my skills down and my knowledge down, and I was going to be good at what I did, and I was. And I take great pride in that. But I never quite fit in anywhere, and I want to just share a little bit about that. When I first started nursing, I was in a small rural town, and it's where I had grown up, and it was quite something. As a brand new nurse, a lot of people are eager to see what your skill level is, where your personality is, and how comfortable they are with what you do and your decisions. And so I meddled there for a couple of years and then moved back. My husband had been in the cities with the children, and we hadn't sold our house, so I went back down there and found a job there, and that was not for me. I had witnessed rural nursing, which was much more hands on, and there was a lot more variety. So my heart was directing me back to rural healthcare. We finally sold our house, and I did settle into another rural hospital, and I flourished. I grew. I didn't have a lot of close nursing friends or close friends in the city. We um, we we had moved into a neighboring town. My husband and I both grew up in the same town, but we went to a neighboring town, and it's tough to fit in. It's tough to adapt to what others are expecting. It's often difficult to just be your own self. When you're your own self, you often don't fit in, and you're kind of feeling like an outcast. However, in my role, I blossomed. I loved being a nurse and taking care of people and ensuring that they got back to their best state of wellness. Along my journey, even early on, I always knew I was going to progress, and I did. I progressed in my education. I had an associate's degree when I first started. Later in my career, I pursued a bachelor's degree, and then I did pursue a master's degree because my goal was to continue to move up within the healthcare industry and the nursing industry. Some people frown upon that. To me, there's a succession in everything in life. And I always wanted someone to want my position because I knew I wasn't always going to be there. I always looked for those individuals who I thought had leadership qualities, that had personality qualities that would make them successful in my role. You have to find a successor because, again, you're not always going to be there. It doesn't mean you're going to leave tomorrow. But you have to ready the next generation because who's going to take care of me? I want strong people taking care of me. And so that's what I was looking for. But some people are intimidated by that. Throughout my career, I've kind of bounced where God wanted me to go. And I did end up in a very, very rural facility where, again, it's very tough to move into a community where things are set and people have roles and people don't like change. So I had went to this facility, and within my first week or two, I was brought into the nursing supervisor's office. I was a nurse manager, and she brought me in, and she sat me down and had her hands on her hips and said, "So I hear you want my job." She said she could wash her hands and leave it all right there and walk away, and I could have it if that's really what I wanted. She was so angry. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. But after I had explained to her that I didn't know what she did or what her role really entailed, I, I was released from her office, and overnight I had contemplated and thought about what in the world had just happened. I had spoken to a couple of the aides. I didn't know who was who or what was what at the time, but just shared that my progression was to eventually hold a position like the nurse manager or nurse supervisors, and to eventually be like a chief nursing officer. Come to be that the aide was the nursing director's daughter and had twisted and turned what I had said into me wanting her position. So instead of being kind and inquiring and being excited that someone would want to know her role, she attacked me. And I have to tell you, nursing has been difficult because I've always been progressive. I've always foreshadowed, looked forward to how I can make improvements. Change was never scary to me. I embrace change because it gives me an opportunity to learn and grow. Not everybody's like that. And so I found it very difficult to be me often in my career. And I think that's why I haven't held many nursing jobs long term. I always sought to find a place I fit in because I seem to intimidate others with my embracing of change and forward thinking. People don't like when you invade their space, and I never meant to invade anybody's space. I just wanted to progress and be excited about what lied ahead for me. I've been a director of nursing. I've been a director of housing. I've progressed, but as I've progressed, I've also intimidated a lot of people because along those journeys, I've also looked for someone to replace myself. Again, forward thinking or not, I don't know, intimidating or not, confidence or not, I don't think it was confidence. It just was reality. And it intimidates a lot of people. My point here is don't give up on you. Don't give up on the journey you're supposed to be making. Don't question yourself because of others' insecurities and comfort with themselves. When people lack self-confidence and they question their roles, strong, forward-thinking people can create anxiety within them. It's not meant to be anxiety creating. It's not meant to make people uncomfortable. It just is a growth thing within us. Some people, like myself, and it just causes chaos in others' lives. But you can't change who you are. You may never fit in somewhere. I gave 2 years to that organization where that woman accused me of wanting her job because I felt there was a higher purpose. But it didn't allow me to grow. There was no growth there because she was just going to make sure there was no growth there. Seek what fits you. God has a purpose, and as bumpy as things get along the road, my career has been the most ridiculous bumpy thing ever, but I've made great strides, and I've always left a little bit of me behind where people know they can be themselves. I've always found those things in others that make them unique and focused on those and had them grow on those. We all have different talents and gifts, and if you don't find them and you don't blossom. Allow them to blossom. They're going to be held back and they're not going to see their own self-worth. Don't be that person. Grow. Encourage others. And allow them to grow, because you're not going to be around forever. Again, it doesn't mean you got to leave, but you want to have them prepped. So if they're called somewhere else, they can step into a role that's comfortable and confident for them and fits them. Intimidating people who have no self-worth and no self-confidence is not a reason for me to hold myself back. I can't continue to do that. So since I've left healthcare, and I've always been comfortable in my home life, it was okay and felt right to walk away from some of those situations because I was strong personally, and I couldn't let their lack of self-strength and self-awareness and self-worth drag me down. I won't do that for anybody. I have a higher purpose, and so do you. So if you find yourself in situations where you're just not quite fitting in, don't change. Don't change, because you're a unique, beautiful creature of God, and He has a purpose for you. I'm still waiting to see where the Lord is sending me next. I've had a year off, and I know there's something big in store. And if it was to bring me back home to contemplate and to grow more spiritually, I'm doing that, and I love that. I love that He's in my spirit, and that He is allowing me growth in my spiritual journey. There's always a reason. It doesn't always make sense. It's often lonely and scary when you're isolated and singled out because you don't fit their mold. But don't change. Don't change. Be who God wanted you to be, and keep questioning the norm. Keep challenging and keep offering change, because change is good. It's how you grow. And if it intimidates others, leave them back there. Let them sit and ponder what's going on in their lives. But you need to keep strong and keep doing what God is calling you to do. That was pretty deep today, and I'm so sorry, but someone needed to hear that. If you're liking my channel, you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please consider coming to my channel and visiting, subscribing, and share videos that you feel might be helpful to you. God's working in my spirit and in my realm here, and if He wants my channel to grow, that's what's going to happen, so I can reach more people. If it's not, well, hopefully I'm touching a few of you, and if that's His purpose, that's good for me. God bless everybody. Be uniquely you. God loves you, and I love you. God bless.